In a world that's ever changing, where dreams are in the making, there's a voice that's guiding you, helping you to break through. Boy! It's the Really Kevin podcast, where your dreams can come alive. With each story and each step, you'll find the strength to thrive.
Welcome to the Really Kevin podcast, where we explore the secrets to personal and professional growth. I am your host, Kevin Mills. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're continuing with my four-part series on mindset mastery. Mindset mastery is a skill that I personally believe is essential to yours and anybody else's success. And it is a skill that I attribute to my own personal success. This is part 2 in this series, and you'll be able to catch all of the episodes in this series, as well as other episodes of the show. Find resources, coaching, and even more on mindset mastery at realllykevin.com, as well as all of your favorite podcast platforms. We are on most of them. Today, we're going to dive into the topic of mental resilience, how to develop it, how to bounce back from setbacks, whether you're facing challenges at work, in your personal life, or just navigating the ups and downs of daily life. Building mental resilience is key to thriving. So let's get started. Mental resilience is the ability to adapt and recover from stress, adversity, and trauma. It's not about avoiding challenges, but rather how we respond to them. Think of this as your mental and emotional toolkit that gets you through life and helps you handle the curveballs that life throws at you. Everyone faces setbacks, but those with a high mental resilience can recover more quickly and even grow from their experiences. And we discussed this in our first episode, which was growth mindset. So if you haven't caught that yet, absolutely go check that out either before or after this particular episode. Now, this does not mean that you shouldn't feel stress or pain. It's only natural. It means you've developed coping strategies that enable you to move forward. And that's what we want. And again, we talked a lot about this in our first episode on mindset, growth mindset. Resilience allows us to maintain a positive outlook, to stay focused, and ultimately to emerge stronger from adversity, stronger from our challenges, stronger from our problems. Why is mental resilience so important? For starters, it helps reduce the impact of stress on your mental and physical health. People with high resilience are less likely to experience burnout, anxiety, and depression. They are more likely to maintain a positive relationship with those around them and perform better at work and at their other tasks. Building resilience can enhance your overall well-being, making you feel more in control and capable of handling whatever it is that life throws your way. It's a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time, just like any other skill. Now, when we get back from this break, we're going to dive in more with the topic of mental resilience and specifically techniques to build your mental resilience. We will be right back.
Get ready. For power, for success, for solutions and answers. It's all in one place, www.realllykevin.com. Education, opportunities, coaching, and so much more.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at kk.com.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Only at absolutionx.com. Get yours.
We're back from the break, and I want to remind you that all of our episodes, you can find them at www.realllykevin.com. Realllykevin.com is also an excellent resource for coaching sessions, for online courses, and so much more. all of our Really Kevin podcasts, not the other resources and not the coaching sessions, are available on most likely your favorite podcast platform, as we are on multiple different podcast platforms. Today, we are in part 2 of my 4-part series on mindset mastery. Our first episode was growth mindset, developing a growth mindset. And today we're talking about mental resilience. And in this section, we're going to talk about techniques to build your mental resilience. So let's jump right into it with practical techniques to build and strengthen your mental resilience. Technique number 1, develop a positive mindset. Now, that may sound simple and like a stupid point when you don't understand maybe even what a positive mindset is. So to break that down, we're going to cultivate a habit of positive thinking. Catch ourselves thinking negatively. One thing that I recommend to a lot of my clients is to put a rubber band on their wrist. And when they catch themselves saying something negative or having a negative thought or a counterproductive thought or a counterproductive activity or action, they take that rubber band and they snap it on their wrist. It's not so much the little sting that it causes, it's the awareness that they are trying to keep an eye out for that so that they know to do it. At some point, they're going to take that rubber band off, and they're still going to every once in a while have those little slips, and that's fine. That's just part of life. But they can remind themselves, without pulling that rubber band, I need to not have that type of an attitude. I need to not have that type of an outlook on life. The more positive we are about life, the more positive we see life, the more positive we will be, the better our positive influence will be on others. The more positive we will do, the better we will do. Think about all the people you know who are positive and happy. Don't they seem to be successful? Isn't happiness a form of success? So cultivate a habit of positive thinking. Focus on your strengths and your achievements rather than dwelling on failures and weaknesses and mistakes. Practice gratitude. This is something I tell my daughter all the time. Be grateful, be gracious. Practice gratitude by regularly noting things that you're thankful for. This can shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. And once you start understanding what's going wrong, you can start focusing on and developing what's going right. Number 2, embrace change. Accept that change is part of our life. Things don't get better unless they change. Sadly, things don't get worse unless they change either, necessarily. But if we want things to get better, that is a change, and that is a change that we want to look forward to. That is a change that we want to implement, and it is a change that we need to accept, and it's part of life changes, that is, getting older, changes in our relationships, changes with our work situation, changes in clothing styles, whatever it happens to be. Sorry, I felt like I had an ant fall up my leg. So embrace those changes instead of resisting it. Learn to adapt, see change as an opportunity for growth. Flexibility in your thinking is going to allow you to do that. Being able to start focusing on the bigger picture instead of smaller little things is going to help you with that. You can navigate through uncertain times more smoothly when you have that big picture, when you're able to see where you're going versus where you are right now. Build strong relationships. Surround yourself with supportive people who lift you up and provide a positive influence. Don't be afraid to lean on your friends. Don't be afraid to lean on your families. Don't be afraid to lean on mentors or anybody else who is strong, who can help you get through whatever particular challenge you're going through. Now, ideally, that's going to be different people for different challenges. You don't want to just lean on the same person all the time. Though we have those people in our lives, we want to get some diversity. We want to get some different impacts, some different feedback from different people so that we can learn how to do these things ourselves. The best people for us to lean on are people who've been through these challenges before, or people who have accomplished what we are ourselves trying to accomplish. Social support is crucial for resilience. This is a very important one. Point number 4, take care of your physical health. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, adequate sleep, they are all essential for our mental well-being. Now, if you watch regularly, you'll see that we've got a number of different episodes that are based on health. They're based on emotional health, physical health. I think those are all very important. They're all very key to us being successful, all very key to us being happy. If our health, whether it's mental health or emotional health or physical health, is dragging us back, we're not going to be able to give it all. We're not going to be able to be successful. So absolutely focus on your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. Physical activities in particular can reduce stress and improve mood, making it easier for you to cope with challenges. A lot of times, sometimes all it takes to get through a stressful situation or a bad day at work or something like that is just to take a little walk around the lake or go to the gym. A lot of people, the gym is their coping strategy. And that's fine. It should be. That is a good, healthy, positive coping strategy. I love to drive. So if I can, I'll take one of my cars out to the track, or I'll just go for a drive through the countryside and decompress that way. I also like to eat. Unfortunately, that's not a healthy way to deal with stress. Practice mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation practices can help you stay grounded and present, reducing your anxiety about the future and what's going on right now, as well as reducing regrets about the past. Even just a few minutes of mindfulness each day will significantly impact your stress levels and your overall mental health. Number 6, set realistic goals. Break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps. This makes them makes them less overwhelming and more achievable. Celebrate your progress along the way, no matter how small. And a lot of these things we're repeating. They were part of our first episode on a growth mindset. But as we develop our mindset, all of these things are essential. The most important thing for a mindset, a positive mindset, or mindset mastery, okay? Mastering mindset is understanding how to make sure that we program ourselves to do all of these things exactly the way we are supposed to do. Mindset is being positive, understanding where we are going, how we're going to get there, and knowing that we're going to do it no matter what, because we're going to be up for the challenges. We're going to be up for the work that it takes. We're going to be up for the effort. So set realistic goals, celebrate your progress along the way, no matter how small. Number 7, learn from setbacks. View setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures. Ask yourself what you can learn from the experience and how you can apply that knowledge to the future so that you can do better the next time, so that you can be more productive next time, so that people don't get hurt next time, whatever the situation is. Reflecting on past challenges and how we overcome them is how we build confidence with our current abilities and how we handle future difficulties. Let's take a moment to reflect on how these techniques can be applied in real life. And when we get back from this break, I'm going to share a personal story that illustrates the power of mental resilience. We'll be right back.
Live the resort lifestyle every day with Cayman K. The perfect pieces for every wardrobe. Shop the entire Cayman K collection and find your favorites. Find all our styles at caymank.com.
Awaken your potential and harness the strengths of your inner self. Online courses that you complete at your own pace. Set and achieve all of your goals.
packed with an ever-growing catalog of information, resources, learning programs, weekly recorded coaching sessions, podcasts, posts and more to keep you on track for your best life. Because the only person who can guarantee your success is you. www.reallykevin.com.
Absolution X. Lifestyle apparel like no other. Limited editions. Unique, exclusive designs. Seek your absolution. Get yours. Only at absolutionx.com.
All right. Before we left the break, I said I was going to share a personal experience that demonstrates mental and physical and just mindset resilience. It is a whole package. We have to understand that we can't separate our emotional happiness from our overall happiness. We can't separate our physical health from our overall scenario. We can't separate little things. It has to be a holistic approach. We need to be happy, healthy, and then we can be wealthy. We need to be wise. We need to be firing on all of our cylinders if we plan to perform the way we want to perform. A few years ago, I faced a significant setback. It was a disappointment, really. I was working on a project. It was actually a project with Disney, and I spent a lot of time, this was in California, a lot of time going to Disney, meeting with people at Disneyland, and also meeting with people with Imagineering. It was a concept that I had that I was developing that we were going to put at Disneyland. I was passionate about this project. I spent so much time developing it, put together so much materials and everything else, but due to unforeseen circumstances, just things that I could not accomplish, it fell through. At first, I was devastated. Any friends who know me from back then, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't go into a funk or anything, but it really bothered me. I felt like I'd failed. I felt like I'd let a very significant opportunity slip through my fingers, and I beat myself up for a long time trying to figure out, what can I do? How can I change this? How can I adapt this to make it, more appealing to Disney? But ultimately, it wasn't just a matter of how appealing it was going to be to Disney. Disney was actually there 99%. In reality, it was me. I wasn't wanting to meet Disney on that last 1%, which made it a no-go. So after being able to think about it, I realized that it really was on me. They had 99% of the formula. I was not willing to go that other 1% in order to make it work. However, when I learned that instead of letting this setback define me, I was going to use it as a learning experience. What was I going to do in the future on projects that were going to allow me to maybe meet that last 20% or 1% or 10% or 50% to compromise in order to get something done for the better good in this particular case being my pockets, but whatever the better good might happen to be for whatever it is that you need to, learn to fix. One of the things that I did, and one of the crucial things that helped me get through this and helped me understand as well, was that I leaned on my support network. I sought feedback. I embraced the changes because the technology that I was looking to implement at the time, it was cutting edge at the time. But literally within a year, 2 years, 3 years, it was obsolete, which ultimately made me realize that I had not thought it out. Well, I thought it out well enough, but that maybe it was a better thing that I hadn't committed to a long-term contract for something that had technology that was changing so quickly that Disney was going to require me to change my equipment and everything as quickly as the technology was changing. I embraced the changes that came my way. I took what I learned from that project and I used it for consulting. I consulted with other companies that are trying to do the same thing in different types of venues or different types of scenarios. I took what I learned in dealing with and working with Disney and applied it to consulting for businesses, to consulting for people who are trying to launch projects with Disney that were not the same types of projects. So I took it as a learning experience and I made it a positive. I set new realistic goals and I broke them down into smaller steps. And it took, in this particular case, about 6 months for me to really break all this down and reassemble it into something that was positive and was making me money, maybe more money, certainly over time than I would have made if I had launched this project at Disneyland. Over time, I was able to bounce back without a doubt. And the experience that I had ultimately led me to where I am today. Not only that, but I had great experiences and met a lot of great people, meeting with the people at Imagineering, meeting with the people at Disneyland. I got to see the backside of Disneyland, the secret little tunnels and doors that you'd pop in and out of. It was a great experience, other than me not being able to launch my idea, which was the most important thing to me at the time. I had a great experience doing that, and it shaped who I am today. It certainly shaped who I was when I used to go to Disneyland on a regular basis, because I was like telling friends and family, hey, there's a door over there where they, cast members come in and out. Ultimately, it led me to where I am today, which is hosting this podcast and hopefully helping you and others to develop, in this case, your mental resilience. Let's talk about practical exercises for building resilience. I put together 5 different exercises that we can work on that will help us build our mental resilience. I'm going to go into some of the exercises real quick here. I've actually done a little description, so let me read these to you. We talked about a journal. I talk about journal in my coaching sessions. I talk about journals in my podcast all the time. We talked about a journal in our first episode in this series. Let's talk about a belief journal, a journal where you write down any limiting beliefs that come up. If you've got something that you think is holding you back, write it down. Put it down on paper so that you can sit and you can look at it and you can decide how you are going to get around that belief. For every limiting belief that you write down, write a counter argument and evidence that disproves that limiting belief. This will help you reframe your thinking. Set up an affirmation routine. Create a list of positive affirmations that counteract your limiting beliefs. So refer to your belief journal, and maybe even in the process of putting together your journal, write an affirmation routine for each one of your limiting beliefs. Repeat this affirmation to yourself daily. I recommend you do it in the morning before you get started for work, before you go to the gym, whatever else it is. Put it in your brain first thing in the morning, first thing when you get up. Set up your day. Start your day with a positive mindset by repeating these affirmations and knowing these affirmations. Write down things that you are going to believe and make yourself believe it when you say it, when you repeat it over and over and over again. One of the best ways for us to learn something is repetition. That is really how an affirmation works. Write an affirmation to where it is something that is positive, that is actionable. I am this. I am that. I am doing this. I am accomplishing this. I am going to do this week. Make your affirmations true, because we can lie to anybody else, but we can't lie to ourselves. So make your affirmations actionable. Make them something that is going to resonate with you, that is going to work. Visualization exercises. This is something I actually do, not just for accomplishing what I want to accomplish, but I literally set visual cues for myself. So if I want to remember to take something to the office, for example, in the morning, there's something I do every morning that I basically attach that cue to. So I said, you know what, when I turn off the ceiling fan in my bedroom, remember to grab your blue folder because it has paperwork in it that you're going to need at the office today. And I'll think about that for a second. I'll visualize the ceiling fan on the remote, the button, and then I'll visualize those folders and where I left those folders. And sure enough, when I grab that remote and I hit that button, sometimes my brain says, wait a minute, you're supposed to remember something. And then it kicks in, oh yeah, the blue folder, I got to take it. So I will set different visualization cues throughout the course of my day to help me remember things. Now, if it works in that respect, don't you think it is powerful enough for you to visualize your success, to visualize how you are going to get things done? Now, I don't want you to imagine yourself living in a giant house. That's fine. But I want you to visualize the steps you're going to take, what you're going to do, the person you're going to be, the person you're going to work with to get to being that person, which is you living in that big house. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself achieving your goals. Imagine the details. What kind of lamp do you have? What kind of, decorations do you like? What kind of furniture style, it is one that speaks to you. Imagine that for yourself. Imagine the sights, the sounds, the feelings. This is going to help train your brain to believe that you are going to be successful and you are going to accomplish this. This is also going to train your brain to push you to succeed and make this happen. Put together an action plan. Break down your goals into small, actionable steps. Focus on completing one step at a time and celebrate each small victory. This builds momentum and it reinforces the belief that you can achieve your goals. Now, my apologies for the background noise. We are right in the middle of a torrential rainstorm, so I hope you guys aren't hearing that, but if you are, that is what's going on. Let's get to point number 5. Point number 5 is mindfulness practice. Engage in mindfulness or meditation to become more aware of your thoughts. When limiting beliefs arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently redirect your focus to more empowering thoughts. Just going back to that point I was making with the rubber band on the wrist, the more you are thinking of things, the more you are mindful of things, the better decisions you're going to make. One of the things I tell my children, told my children all the time, and tell my youngest daughter now still, because she's still at home, is think about the things that you're going to do. Think about what consequences or what reactions your actions are going to have. That's not necessarily always going to be a negative consequence. A lot of times there's positive consequences. So what is it that we are going to do, or that you're going to see somebody else do, that is going to change the outcome of something? And what are the consequences of our actions? What are the consequences of our thoughts? What are the consequences of a chain of events that we might set into play? So being mindful, always thinking of that, is a way that we can help control that and make that outcome a more positive one, point that towards a more positive direction. For this segment, I wanted to do, this is our second to the last segment, I wanted to do some questions that I have received from some of our viewers and listeners. So let's go ahead and do that, because I really think they have to do with building mental resilience, and I think they're appropriate for this particular conversation. First question, I've got someone who asks, I constantly feel like I'm not good enough, especially at work. How can I start changing this belief? Start by identifying specific situations that trigger this belief. This is something that a lot of us feel or have felt or can identify with ourselves. So this is one of the reasons why I picked this particular statement question. Start by identifying the specific situations that trigger this belief. Challenge the thoughts that arise in these moments by asking yourself if they are based in facts or assumptions. Are you getting upset about something that is not a reality? I see this all the time. Husbands, you see this with your wives. Maybe wives, you see this with your husbands. Are you getting upset about something that is actual, that is real? And then ask yourself, real or not, is it worth getting upset about? Is this something that is going to actually affect anything really other than my mood at this particular moment? One of the questions I would ask my children when they got upset about something is, I would say, did somebody die? No. Did somebody lose a finger or an arm or a limb or something like that? No, they would tell me. Did it affect the price of tea in China? No, they would tell me. So you know what? I would say, it bothers you now, but it's not that important. It's not anything that is going to change your life. It's not going to change the life of others. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Get past it. Move on, and don't let it affect your life. So maybe use those questions for yourself when you are addressing these issues. Look at those negative thoughts that you're getting, or the negative comments maybe that are making you think like that. Replace them with affirmations like, I am capable and I bring value to my team. Get feedback, get positive feedback from your colleagues so that you can see what you're doing right. Because if you get enough positive feedback and enough people are telling you what you do right, then maybe you can start building on that and you won't feel inadequate. And so seek feedback from colleagues to gain an objective perspective and focus on your achievements, no matter how small. Another question, the last question we're going to do is, what if I don't have a strong support network? And I hear this a lot through different coachings that we do, because I really believe in relying upon a network for our emotional support, for our mental support, also for a lot of the business coaching that I do. We talk about a network and a strong network, different types of networks. But the thing I get all the time is, what if I don't have a strong network, or in this particular case, a strong support network? Building a support network takes time, but it is worth the effort. Do what you need to do. Get out whatever it is that you do that is going to put you in front of people, that is going to allow you to gain peers. Go ahead and do it. For some people, it's going to church. For other people, it's spending more time at the country club so you can meet other people who have the same likes, say with golf or tennis or whatever it is that you enjoy. Go to the bowling alley. A lot of people feel weird about going to the bowling alley, but you know what? Go to the bowling alley with your ball and start talking to other people. Before you know it, you'll be playing on a league. So go out, do what it takes, make the effort. Start by reaching out to colleagues, joining clubs, groups, things that are related to your interest, seeking out online communities. A lot of, like it or not, I really don't like it, okay? So much has gone to online in the last 10, 15, even 20 years. There are people who do psychology sessions online. I personally don't think that is the best way to do it, but to each his own. If you can find a strong online community that's going to be supportive, then absolutely be a part of that. Volunteering is also a great way to meet positive-minded, supportive people. Don't be afraid to seek professional help if you need it. That said, let's go ahead and wrap this all up. This again, our second show in a series of 4. If you want to see them, reallykevin.com. As we wrap up today's episode, there's some actionable takeaways that I really want you to think about that are going to help you build mental resilience. First, start small. Begin with small, manageable steps. Focus on one aspect of resilience, such as practicing gratitude or setting realistic goals, and gradually incorporating other techniques into your life. Stay consistent. Building resilience takes time and consistency. Make these practices part of your daily routine in order to see lasting results. Be patient. Change is not going to happen overnight. Be patient with yourself and recognize that setbacks are a normal part of the journey. You're going to be able to see these changes more when you start putting them into your journal. So be patient, but also track your progress and your successes. Lastly, seek help. Don't hesitate to seek professional help if you need it. And I'm not saying you need to go talk to a psychologist or anything else, whatever it is. So part of my positive mindset is being organized. If you have a problem being organized, have somebody come in. It may be as simple as you need to have additional shelving built in your closet. It may be a whole makeover. You need to get rid of all this stuff and get it out of your life because you don't need it anymore. Me, like I said, one of the things that helped me maintain a positive mindset is being organized, and it probably is similar for many other people. If you need help with being organized, there are people out there who are professional organizers. If you need help with something else, seek out somebody who can help you do that. I'll tell you real quick, just as an example, as many of you know, I invest in real estate. I love investing in real estate. I have properties that have tenants in them. I love income properties. I would never manage my own income property. I am not interested in it at all. I am not, I don't consider myself good at property management. I know everything that needs to be done. I know what a property manager needs to do. I could teach a class on it, but I don't think I would be a good property manager because I don't like it. I am not passionate about it. It's not something I want to do. There are, however, people out there that do like to do it. There are people who are good at it. It is their passion. It is absolutely worth it for me to pay them to do that job because they are going to do it better than me. It is part of my cost of doing business. Consider that for yourself. Is there something that maybe you don't like to do, maybe you don't want to do, that somebody else will do better? Is it worth not having to try and figure it out and paying somebody else to do it in order to get it done, in order to be more successful with it? Consider those things as well when I say seek help. Thank you for tuning in to the Really Kevin podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share with others who you feel might benefit. Until next time, stay resilient and keep striving for your best self. Take care, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on the Really Kevin podcast. Just a reminder, you can catch the Really Kevin podcast on your favorite podcast platform in both audio and video formats. Make sure you check our reallykevin.com for resources, programs and more, and make sure you join us back here again for the Really Kevin podcast. Follow us for even more content on our social media channels. Really Kevin on Facebook, Instagram at IG Really Kevin, TikTok is TT Really Kevin, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at X Really Kevin. And again, don't forget to check our www.reallykevin.com. Until next time, enjoy your amazing life.